Hello, and welcome to episode 41 of the DomJake podcast. And I'm your host, Dominic.
And I'm your host, Jake.
And today, it's been a while since we've done this, but we have another guest on this episode. And joining...
We had a guest on that other time. What's the reason with that one that happened on, let's see, April 1st?
What?
Yeah. What about that one?
I forgot we had a guest on April 1st.
Obviously, we didn't have anyone, but yeah, that's sure.
But it's been a little bit of a while since that episode was uploaded. So joining us today, we have a guest, and we're going to call him Nick. Introduce yourself.
Hi, guys. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Welcome.
Lovely to have you. I mean, for ever since the conception of, honestly, the channel, which, is older than how long we've actually been posting things on it. Ever since the conception, I always knew, I wanted to physically do something with you.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to have everyone back. It's like a reunion.
Yeah, no, it's been a while for sure.
I mean, yeah, but
life happens.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. More specifically, 20 minutes worth of life happens, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, life does happen, but sometimes you have to do something with your life, and we're all in our early 20s. We have to survive in this tough world we're in. And
that is very true.
And for this particular episode, I'm going to dive more into that. More specifically, there was this movie that came out like a while back, probably before we were even born. It had Tom Hanks in it, and he was stranded on an island, and he pretty much had to survive.
Solely.
Yes. And that...
Passed away.
Oh, yeah.
Dang it. Not that one.
Oh, are you thinking about the one where the guy had his hand in the rock and he had to cut his arm off?
Oh no, I was just saying Sully.
No, it's Castaway.
It was Captain Sully, no. Yeah.
But
Captain Sully. That's another good one though. That's another good one.
But I was thinking, what would we do what would happen if all three of us were on an island right now? We're all not the Gulligan Island on SpongeBob, but whatever it's called, but just this big island.
Yeah, just like a big tropical, I take it.
I would say tropical.
I would say tropical. That's typically the go-to. I mean, I respect that.
And
we have snow. I respect it.
We have to find our...
It is worth saying that technically you can get stranded on a snowy area.
That is true. You can get stranded, and that's why I pointed out tropical, non-tropical, because that does make a difference when it comes down to survival too.
In this scenario, it's going to be a tropical island, and we have to figure out our own ways of surviving. We have to we don't have just resources. There's resources on the island, but we don't just have like a Game Boy on standby. But
so we pretty much just landed there. We were stranded and we're just living off the land type of deal. Everything on our backs and everything on the ground, I guess, or in a tree. Or things that wash ashore, which sometimes happens, but
yes, that was the next question I had. Did we crash in the water in a plane like in the movie Castaway, or was it did we sink in a ship?
I think it's like the scenario where we were on a plane and we just fell. And
we just happened to fall onto the beach and we did not perish.
Nope.
You know what? I may be asking too many questions. You can cut these out if you want, but you will understand when we get into it a little bit more.
I think
passenger plane or cargo plane? Are we going a lost scenario, where the passenger plane split apart? Or are we going cargo plane?
I mean, you might know more about it than I do, but I guess we'll just say passenger plane.
Okay, works for me.
Okay.
So we're the only three
Private,
survivors. We're the
private
only
or
three
public?
ones that survived. Got it.
Private. It's a private
It's a
jet.
private jet with only the three of us, and there is only an
Okay.
autopilot, so it's not even.
We were making
another
a business trip to Australia, and we just happened to. There happened to be a storm, and we just happened to like jump off for survival, and we happen to be on this magical island that's tropical, and
How
we.
many planes have you been on, Tom? Just because there's a storm doesn't mean, oh, we gotta fall off of it now.
I've only
We
flown.
gotta jump off the plane.
I've only flown twice in my life.
You jump off the plane and the plane's completely fine. Just keeps going through
It
the
ain't no leg.
clouds and lands in Australia.
Bing
Yep.
pong. At this time, we are now opening up our doors. Yes, everybody, no time to panic. It is
Actually,
now. It is
We're in
now
a storm,
7:30
everybody
p.m. We are currently careening down very fast. So that bit you
I
can
feel
cut
like,
it
you
out.
know
You can
what
keep it
though?
out.
it's fun. We're keeping
as
this.
as much as we joke about it, I feel like if you're a pilot, right, and the plane's crashing, you're gonna want to stay calm about it. You're gonna want to be like, you know what? We're just gonna want to like try to keep I don't even know. Just try to keep everybody calm. I don't know how you would in that situation, but I
I
feel like
mean,
as a pilot you should, because like if you get on the mic and you're like, everybody, we're crashing.
everyone
Get
panic
down, get
now.
down, get down. It's like, no,
Everybody,
that's just not gonna
the
work
plane is going
anymore.
to
Well,
crash. Please
come
scream
to
and
think
panic
of it,
now.
come
At
to
least
think of
try
it
to keep
though,
them calm, you know.
people try to do that all the time, but there's any instance of that's not the thing I was expecting the pilot to hear. You could say, remain calm. This is just a drill, and people are even, freaking out about it.
That
People
is
try all the time
that is
to
a
to
that
quell,
is
to calm a bunch of freaking out people. Obviously, your emotions get the better of you, and it's like it doesn't matter what this person's telling you to do, even if it's a smart decision. It's my decision versus yours, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you could be more right than the person telling you something, right?
Mm-hmm.
that is
That's a
completely true.
So,
factor. But
well, so the scenario is, yep, we were on a plane. We just had to jump off for our own survival, because, and
Yes.
now, right now, it's literally the noon sky. It's not afternoon. It's not morning. It's like the sun is like straight up. Thing we noticed, like, okay, there's all these trees and all the sand's on the ground.
are they coniferous?
I
Sorry,
guess.
sorry.
I suppose. Sure. They're like coconut, like palm looking trees.
I had to do the Nick thing of just a detail that doesn't matter.
But
Listen, they matter. You're gonna see what I mean. You're
well,
gonna
we're gonna
see what
hear
I
from the
mean.
expert
Just
here
wait.
later on. Okay, so what would be the first thing you do if you just realized? Imagine you don't even have your phone with you either. But even if you did, there's no cell service.
And it's probably ruined from the salt water anyway. So
Yeah.
like,
Sure, yeah.
So
I actually do travel. You could cut this out. You can keep this in. Doesn't matter. I actually do travel with one of those waterproof cases, and I put my phone in it in the luggage. I mean, I don't know how many people do that, but like,
you
you
know,
never
not
know.
not so much when I'm flying, but if I'm ever out on a boat or doing any sort of research that involves being close to the water, I try to keep it in one of those dry bags or whatever.
mhm.
Yeah.
But
Like,
for me, like the first thing I'd probably do is see if there's anybody that can help me out to at least get settled on this island before I make a bigger plan to go back home.
right. Is this island one where I guess I guess my question actually should be, is this something where all of us landed within 5 minute walk from each other? Or is it like you're on triangle point A, I'm on triangle B, and then Nick's on C?
We
It's
shouldn't call them A, B, and C. We should make up locations. Like Dom's on North Starfish Point or whatever. You're on like, let's call it like James
Bottom
Cook
Bay.
Bay. You know,
James Cook.
James Cook, the oceanographer that like discovered Australia area, whatever. James Cook Bay, and then I'm over just like on the beach or something.
Sure.
Yeah,
being
we can
served
just
your
we'll call it
tiki
that.
drinks. And
Yep, it's the coconut something milk.
okay,
Well, it's
so
tropical, so it doesn't really matter where you are. It's
Actually-
gonna be nice, you know.
Actually, the first thing I'd probably do is, if I see a bunch of coconuts, I'm gonna gather my food sources there. I don't care, even if I don't like coconut, I'm gonna go for it.
this is us asking what we think we would do also, because
Well-
we don't know, because we haven't been in that situation. We don't
Well,
really know.
We really, honestly, at the end of the day, it's like this is just based on what we say what we do versus what we would, but
Right. This is our ideal zone.
so, I mean, I'd want to know, I mean, I know you guys are there, but is there any other island goers that are already settled that could help me?
I would not personally look for settlements of other people because of the fact that other people sometimes get so rowdy. And what do you do if you can't communicate
I
with
would
that
say-
person?
I would say for the sake of this, it's one of those like atoll islands that don't have people on them. Like it's big, but it doesn't have people on them.
So, okay, so let's just say let's say there's nobody there and it's just us three.
But we don't know it's us three. We know I did it, you did it, you did it.
Okay, so yeah, I'll find my ways. I'll do like all the food gathering, and then before I go to sleep, I'm gonna eat a little bit of my food, and then probably rest for the day, and then spend the rest of the day trying to explore around the island. And
I would prioritize first things first. I have to know that I have a shelter. I have to know that I have a roof over my head. I'm not sleeping just on the sand after picking up some coconuts that happen to be here. I have to have something, whether it's,
if it's straw house,
something to prevent the elements from getting in, but also if it's off the coast of Australia, probably poisonous stuff
probably
from
the
getting through.
probably the TV-sized spiders that they have.
I
Right.
did see a scorpion once. That was kind of cool.
I mean, it looks cool, but
That was in Central America. I saw it. It was it was pretty cool.
so who knows? There could be like a mouse infestation there, or like the big giant spider, like the size of those inflatable ones at Party City.
Like you
But-
said, like straight up, it is 12 o'clock. It is middle of the day, meaning you have less time before sundown.
Right.
So
You have to situate the important stuff, not just, I'm gonna pick some fruit for 2 hours, which it is important, yes, in the long run. But
right
the
now,
most pressing moment
actually,
is one,
if
if you crashed from a plane, see if there's medical supplies or something that's like near the scar, near the crash point, if it's not sunk in the ocean already, or if it didn't drift away or blow away, depending on how stormy the weather was. You have to make sure that you have a protection
Or
area.
it landed safely in the Sydney airport, and Dom just convinced us to jump out of it because there was a storm.
You know what? It was safe. It was just on autopilot, but we were like, there's nobody in the cockpit. We're screwed.
well, okay, sure, we'll see if there's any remnants of like a first aid kit on the beach sand. But
We'll say we crashed. Yes.
But the scenario is we have already crashed. I guess if I was gonna prioritize trying to get a roof over my head, the first thing I would do is also see if I can make little weapons out of the wood from like trees, and then gather more wood to make a little house.
I object though, because you clearly said the first thing you would do is fruit picking and exploring.
Fruit picking. I'll do fruit picking. I'm still for that because I don't want to be a skinny like skeleton.
Yeah, kind of already are compared to me, but
so I'll gather all my fruits, and then after that, then I would try to get a roof over my head. because I really don't want to get.
Didn't say before.
Then I'd want a wooden house. As long as I mean, I know the big bad wolf ain't there, but I know the big bad spider may be.
But you don't know. There could be a big bad wolf. We don't know. So you gotta protect what you don't know.
So yeah, sure, I'll do the house. I mean, if there's hay nearby, I'll make a bed.
Nick, what's the first thing you would do? Because clearly this ain't going anywhere.
So, basically, what I would do is try to find the ocean or as close, like the beach or whatever, as close to the ocean as I can to look for like remnants from the wreckage. But specifically, what I'd be looking for is any sort of like raft or safety slide if it's a plane or whatever it may be. Because if I'm gonna make shelter, I'm gonna want to make the roof, at least the roof, out of that type of material to prevent weather. You want to prevent the rain from kind of dripping off, and just drape that over some sticks, shelter like that, and secure it, and
It's definitely gonna be a lot of sticks on an island.
sort of like that, yeah. And then once that's secure, it's gonna be like kind of look for food. Coconuts if you can get to them, because not only can you eat them, but you can drink out of them too. You got the hydration, the coconut water, um, stuff like that. Look for, like you said, any sort of fruits. Mango probably would be on the island of sorts, stuff like that.
You'll likely even see a banana there.
Yeah, very possibly, yes. But no, fruit, stuff like that. Once that's gathered, if there's time before sunset, before set in for the night, try to walk along the shore and find any sort of sea life that you can grab. Clam that I can grab, like clams, lobsters, crabs, stuff like that. Anything that might be crawling around, and use that as protein. And that would kind of be the first day plan.
Yeah.
And then the next day would be try to find the high ground, the highest point. Because if you can find the highest point, obviously you have a good view of everything, and it might make it easier to see ships off in the distance that you could potentially signal for help.
So
Given you find something shiny that you can do, or light a big fire and make smoke signal.
So we have this. Let's kind of I hate to interrupt because you're on like the.
No, I got you.
You're on
Go
a.
for it.
Yeah, you're on a good roll here, but let's see what happens if we just say what we're going to do day by day, right?
Right.
And I'm not saying like,
Right.
Nick does his whole journey and then we are able to hear it from him. Let's pretend physically that day one is done after, Dom's doing his fruit and exploration at night. I'm doing my try to do a shelter thing, and then if there's time, do food stuff. And then you're doing the specifically looking for like the raft material, the plastic material, right? That's the end of day one sort of deal, right?
Yeah, because I feel like
just did there.
I feel like you never know how long you're gonna be on the island. No one knows that in that situation, so you might as well prepare to be there for long periods of time and through different weather and stuff like that.
I'm physically saying like how we do this as like just a concept for episode is we know that's the end of day one. Now it is day two. What is Dom doing? We can listen to the day two Dom, and then we can listen to the day two me, and then you with the probably the higher chance of survival. Let's be honest here. But
Fair enough.
Okay, so yep. I'll probably do more exploring, see what other materials I can gather. And like you mentioned, maybe protein stuff. I would definitely try to find a way to signal for help. And I don't mean doing the Batman symbol in the air. I mean like actually trying to figure like some kind of way to either, if I see a ship, if I see the opportunity, then I'll like either shout for help or do something. But I'll do that as my side plan, and then my other plan is for now, like, situate myself before something happens.
All right, is that the end of your day 2?
That's like the biggest summary of it.
Big summary of it. My day 2 would pretty much be consisting of then to kind of borrow the Nick mindset, but to kind of remix it. Then I'm going to see if I could find like a rafty type of material to craft a water purification thing. I know the basics. I know the principle. I just don't know how to really build one if you gave me the opportunity to do one. But I know that the idea is you put the seawater in one section right here, kind of create like a tarp sort of situation so then it evaporates, but then collects on a bottom system. Then you could just drink off of. So I know the principle. I don't know the actual buildable. I don't know the execution. There you go.
Yep.
So I would try to do the water sort of materials because not only are coconuts hard to crack open, that's literally why that 5-minute segment in Castaway was a thing. That I don't know how to open this, but then suddenly, I know how to open it forever. It's not super reliable. Plus, the idea of what if a week goes by and you ran out of all of the coconut trees that you were able to find.
That's another thing you got to keep in mind is, well, food source is limited. So
my thinking is I already did the settlement day 1. I already did that. I already did some minor food searching. Next priority got to be the water stuff. It has to be that. And luckily, I'll have longer to deal with it because, it's not just 12 to midnight. I have now midnight to midnight instead, right? I have twice the amount of time to deal with something. After that point, I have to look for something that's, if I can, right? Because that could, in in practice, maybe a water purification thing for somebody like me to build with like nothing might take longer than I would like, but if there is some time, then I would have to try to find my hand at seeing if I can make a net of some sort. I know you can grab things like clams from the shore if you could see them.
If they are,
but
then
what do you do if you can't find like a pot to boil them? Then
you cook them. You just cook them over the fire.
But would they open the shell then?
Yeah.
They still would, even without like the water apparatus.
Yeah. Because I've cooked them. I've cooked clams on the grill before, actually.
They just pop open. I might need to test that one out one day without being off the coast of Australia stranded, right?
Like, if you put clams on like a charcoal grill and grill them, they actually taste really good.
Oh, nice. My then priority would pretty much be to do like a net type of thing because of the fact that I just don't know if I could create a fire right then and there. I am not. I could do a fire decently now. That's with the lighter. That's with a pit to actually do it. So I'm kind of wishy-washy on what my second path will be, but I'm still kind of gonna lock in with. I'm gonna try to do like a fishing net out of random materials that might be there.
Right.
All right, professional. Now it's time for you.
I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm a professional. So day 2, say I got my shelter, say I gathered the supplies, that sort of thing. I think what I would do next is, like I said, walk and try to find the highest point of the island, just to get a viewpoint, a vantage point, see if there's anything nearby, any signs of any other type of civilization while I'm up there, and that would be the main goal.
Mm.
And then while I walk up there, I'd be looking for like small little animal bones and stuff like that of like dead animals or whatever that I would use to kind of craft into a makeshift fishing hook of sorts, which then I would use the thread from like my t-shirt or whatever. Like I would take my shirt off and pull the thread out to use as like fishing line and do it that way. I don't know. Like I said, none of this seems realistic whatsoever. This is just kind of like my brain thinking this is what I would do.
Oh,
Once I make it to the high point to look around for any civilization, if fails and there's none of that, the next thing I would look for is kind of like there's any weird change in the water or the way the water's flowing or whatever, or if there's any ship passage going through there. Um if it's off in the distance, at least give it something that there might be ships passing by that we can signal.
I mean,
Mm.
definitely, if there's that opportunity, definitely signal.
But a lot of what ifs there. There's not a high chance that you'd be able to pick out where the shipping channels are or whatever. No one can really do that, but if there are, let's say, ships passing by or whatever, at least I would know how to get to the highest point so I can get up there and either make a fire or find some way to signal.
Speaking of which, the two of our day twos did not include fire, which means if
Oh,
you were
well,
climbing up there, I'm straight up saying Dom and I both didn't make. I was wishy washy. I was thinking of it, but I kind of went with the net.
well,
Both of us didn't
of
make
course I'm gonna
anything.
make of course I'm gonna make fire. It's just kind of like I get back, nighttime
So,
thing.
because both of us, Dom and I, did not do anything with fire, which means it makes it so whenever you climb that tree to look for like a civilization sort of thing, good likelihood that you might have to climb up that tree again.
Oh, the important
Just
thing is I'm gonna keep the shells from all of the fish or whatever, because then I can chip them apart and turn them into utensils and or plates or whatever, and or like spearheads. I don't know.
So this is all just day two stuff.
That's all day two stuff. Nothing else to Nick.
We've already kind of established what we would do.
All right. All
Ready?
right. Midnight passes. It's now day three. Of course, wake up time is subjective to when you actually wake up. If you didn't die in your sleep, right? Yeah, lovely.
Well, so I've already had my place to sleep. I'm gonna probably just nap for a few more hours until the next day comes, and this is day three.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
It was past midnight and it is now day three. That's what
So-
I said.
So yeah. Okay. I already
You
have
took the
my
time machine back just to do day three again.
food. So I already got my food for these couple days. I don't need to do that. I guess for now, until I could maybe find something to protect my, I guess, my little area that I created. You know how how farmers have like pets to protect their crops? Like,
Yes.
I guess I would try I guess this is not gonna be a long-term thing, obviously, but see if there's like some animal that's a good protector of my personal space there.
Domestication on day three. Woo.
That's not the only thing I would be doing, of course. And I would try to find a way to, you know, then since Nick here had his day two trying to do this fishing, then day three is then I would try to do my way of fishing. Maybe not with the thread of my shirt. I'd pick some kind of like material to use as the line, like go crab fishing, whatever, all that. And I would try to gather that. I'll try to get more protein from that. Maybe expand a bit more on my, I guess, shelter. Gather materials for that. Some lighting in there. Let's say put a whole like campfire inside the house, but kind of candle like thing in your house. In this supposed, like, wooden house that's, there's no electricity ran through it. Figure out, I'd also have a little furniture that's made out of probably, well, you guess it, more sticks. I'd try to do some furnishing, whatever. Situate that until I move on to the bigger parts, which will be in the next couple days.
Right.
So let's talk about your day 3.
That's the end of your day
Yep.
3, I guess.
So what's your day 3 gonna be like?
Mine is probably going to be focused on exploration at this point. I have, the water stuff. I might see if I could once again borrow from the better. See if then there's like a carcass of some sort that I could just. It sounds weird, but it's a thing that people did back before bottles. See if I could like bleed out like a liver or like a bladder of something else that's already gone, right? And just make a bottle for my water that I already theoretically situated. So I have purification and I just put it in a makeshift bottle. If there wasn't one that was already nearby in like the remnants of the crash. So I have that, and then I would pretty much just do exploration type of stuff with the focus on leaving like a breadcrumb sort of idea made out of pebbles. Well, not pebbles, but something bigger. Something. This is assuming it's also like a sandy beach, not a pebbly beach, right? That's what my assumption was.
Yeah.
It would suck if it was a pebbly beach because then it would blend in, right? That's pretty much my day 3 would just consist of taking a bottle, exploring the outer circumference of Ed Island. Mine
hydration.
Mine isn't really much of a big day 3 because I wanted to see if I could do the other first 2 things, but I feel like I gotta search now that things at my home base are kind of settled a little bit. My thing of seeing if I could meet anybody or anything of interest would then pretty much start on day 3. And figured I didn't need to say this, but by sundown, then I would kind of be already back at the settlement. Continue on to day 4.
All right. Let's talk about Nick's day 3.
My day 3, sort of piggybacking off the exploration thing, but also kind of figuring out a little bit of a more water situation instead of, coconut relying on coconuts. But my exploration would see if I can't find any source of fresh water, little pond, waterfall, anything like that. Try to look the entire island over for that there. Theoretically, there would be one if there's any sort of forest, which on this island, I think there would be a rainforest, a tropical forest of some kind,
Let's just
I'd
say
say.
we got first few episodes of Lost, right? Not
Right.
not the French lady who's been speaking for 20 years or whatever. We don't have the SOS message
Right.
from radio, but we have outside is sandy beach, then it progresses into like a wooded area, which then
Right.
could become a little bit more dense. Of course, there
That's
might be some mountainous areas on the
what,
other side of the island or something, but
well, that's what I'm saying is if we're in like the South Pacific, those old volcanic islands, they have big mountains, stuff like that. And I mean, if we're in a wooded area with mountains, there might be a waterfall. And say there is a waterfall, that's water supply for all of us.
if the two of us think of going inland.
But theoretically, do that, find the water, that. Then
Alright.
I would kind of spend a good portion of day 3 trying to find supplies to possibly build a raft of some kind.
All right.
Whether that's
Because we're
driftwood.
assuming the one that is your roof is already like slashed or whatever. Or
Yeah, ripped apart.
Would you try to mend that one if you could?
No, that one's just ripped up pieces of fabric that I'm using for weather protection.
That one's a roof. Okay, that's strictly roof.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So that's everybody's like whole day 3 thing.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with mine being just a
Water.
explore with a water bottle.
And that kind of brings me to my situation for day 4.
Day 4. Bring it in day 4.
So, yep. So I'm at the point now where, yeah, I'm starting to get a little dehydrated. I know I got my butts cut coconuts, but that ain't gonna the best way of hydrating. So I'm at the point now where I may have to start gathering some water. It's, even salt water from the beach or whatever little lakes that are on the island. I mean, I don't know much about it, but I would start prioritizing about getting my hydration like all situated. Whether that's what Jake's case, making the bottle, or even like a bowl of water.
Oh, my day 3 wasn't like my day 3 was just for being able to move my already existing, clear water.
But
Like clean from day 2. Like I didn't start on day 3 with water things. That was on day 2. Like I already have a pool of purified stuff. I just made the bottle to bring it places.
But I would no. My thing is, I'm trying to now get water. I mean, if I wanted to clean myself, get cleaned up, since I don't have a shower, yeah, I'll just take a nice swim in the beach. Because we don't really have any Dove shampoo just on standby. But I would just, I mean, it says I would gather water. Just so then I have dang.
Right on. Do you think that's gonna last your entire day 4, or is that something you think you could get done with
Probably
part
get that.
of day 4?
I'll get it like in a couple of hours of day 4. So then, like, whether I'm probably gonna gather tons and tons of water, which will last me a couple days. On to other stages. That's my day 4.
That's a day 4.
And
All right.
moving on to you.
My day 4 would consist of probably another exploration type of thing, except the opposite direction.
Walk toward the mountains.
Well, I would then take a moment to listen to this ethereal voice that's now in my head because I'm starting to lose my mind. And
There's hypothetical water in there.
This I will call him God is telling me that there is hypothetical water inland. I might just have to follow what this delirious thought of mine says and just explore inwards on the mountain, right? In the mountainous area. So then maybe what's this, God? Maybe I'm waterfalls.
No. I'm not a god. Let's just in this scenario, I'm not a god, right? It was on day 3. I wrote in the sand, if you're reading this, there's water inland, and you found it on the beach because that's just because I'm like that. I wanted to be helpful.
Right. Oh, so I stumbled upon this thing. It wasn't just a premonition that some delirious, sound is just happening in my head out of nowhere on day 4 because, I'm crazy because nobody has been speaking to me. So my brain just gave me a buddy, right? Brain buddy, right? That's what happens.
It's your Jiminy Cricket.
So now that I discovered a message, I'm gonna see what's happening. Maybe at the very least, I'll discover that the mountain might not be a great place, but at the very most, I might have a hive with an actual person instead of, just giving myself high fives.
So just clapping?
No, it's self high fives.
That's clapping.
No. It's only clapping if you're alone. Right, delirious god that's in my head? You
Right.
tell him.
Yep, totally. It's my
Yeah,
conscious. But it's like
my day
speaking,
forward consists of discovering that if I went the opposite direction on day 2, that there was a message, but maybe that message is new because maybe it wasn't a thing on day 3 whenever I went there. So maybe that's a good thing that I went this way versus the other way. So now I discovered that there might be something at the mountainy areas. So I'm gonna go inward, and I'm gonna put in, and that I brought a sharp rock, so then I could tally the different trees that I come by, or I don't know, mark them with like a letter or something. So like A on the first one that I passed by, B on the second one. So then I have, ZYXWVUTSRQPONMLKIHJ. I forget the rest of it.
ZYXWVUTSRQPONMICLGHGFEDCBA. There you go.
There we go. Tangent. Could you tell the two of us were bored in study hall one day?
Yep.
We're like, let's do the backwards alphabet. Why not? It took us like 3 classes. We were like, there we go.
And then
we did it.
Yeah. Huh. I ended up mastering it.
There you go.
What's a series of useful skills you think we should know hiring you?
Backwards alphabet.
Backwards.
There you go. You're hired.
Alphabet backwards.
But yeah, going back into it, I am marking every single tree that I go by hard. Like I am marking it. I am scratching this mark deeply in so it can't be mistaken as, oh, it's just a light little graze that some branch just happened to nest and happened to make a mark. No, I'm making it known that this is my alphabet, and I might repeat alphabet depending on how far it goes. This is work backwards, ZYX, this is my inward.
Mm-hmm.
Is if I don't know if there are anybody else on this island, and it's not just me, that maybe if someone else was, marching inward, they'd be like, why does this one say P? Why does this one say Q? Oh. So I'm gonna be marking my trees, and then if I find nothing, going back to my camp. That is my day 4. Day 4.
Yep. That's what we were. All right. Good for you.
All right.
Now it's on to you.
Day 4, 4th day on the island. Probably getting. Although I have been pretty well, I have been catching a lot of fish. I will say that one. Catching them, making sure they're there. But I'm getting a little tired of that. Little fed up with the whole
Like
fish thing.
You're getting tired of the taste every time.
So, like Jacob said, a sharp rock, but then tie it stick and make a spear, and then I would go out and I'd spear like things that can't attack me that I can eat as protein, like lizards and chicken and stuff. Such. I don't know.
Well,
No, never mind. If there are live chickens on the island for whatever reason, because sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. But let's just say there's live chickens on the island. I would try to catch one of them and keep one of them that could produce eggs, because then I could have a supply of eggs and stuff like that. but then I would try to catch one and use it to kill and make into chicken, so I had protein for that as well. And then that
You just gotta make sure one's a hen and one's a rooster.
Right. I was
that
gonna
would
say,
kind of
you kept the rooster.
be my day 4 plan. There is just try to find other food other than like fish or whatever.
Cause then,
But then get this, right? Shocking new development, right? Something washes on the beach. It's a
Oh
plain
God.
chair. It's a plain chair. You know, just one of those chairs that's like in the plains,
just like
that's
a
like you sit
So
in, right?
since
Right
it's a
out
plain chair, it
putting
can't
it
be that
putting it
elegant. Right?
putting it right outside the house, right? So that I can sit comfortably and watch the sunset. That's the plan for day 4.
Okay. Okay.
all
Didn't
right,
know we
perfect.
were allowed to just say something washes up, but I have plans now.
All
Yeah,
right,
I mean, I
just
feel
giving
like
me
I
ideas.
feel like that's how it should work,
That
right?
gives
Like,
me that gives me my plan for day 5.
Hey,
but
every 4
for
days
for
you
for
get
sake, yes, for sake, we can say only 3 things can wash ashore
that you choose.
that you choose.
And you know what? Let's do this. This is my rendition on top of that. It doesn't matter if it's to your character or other people's characters. So if I wanted, I could give you, I don't know, a chicken.
I mean, I hope that if it's been already covered by like salt water, then I don't want that rotisserie chicken.
Oh no,
I
it's the chicken of the sea, literally.
mean, I guess so. Yeah. Sure.
So
Or
we could all agree with
rotisserie
the
chicken. Perfect.
only 3 things to each people, but it doesn't matter if it's
Yes,
to you or to the other people, or literally
right,
one of each or whatever. Yeah, everybody
Um.
has 3 things, and it doesn't matter if it's all done on the same day or separated, right?
right.
Okay, I got some plans then.
All right. I already
Okay.
know my thing for day 5.
Start, go.
Okay. One of them. So okay, something does magically just like come right on. Like the waves just just comes onto something comes onto shore.
Oh,
Yeah.
ooh,
It's just
bountiful
a
harvest.
it's just a mirror that I can then go up on the mountains and then kind of wave for like if there's a ship that is already like happens to be like, sailing by the island, and I can shine that magical mirror by that whatever, see if those like people are gonna be able to look, and I can help. Um, that close either. I mean,
Okay, right.
and this was just me trying to see if I can find crabs in the ocean, and I just so happened to see this mirror. Like, where did this come from? And I'm like, this gives me an idea, and then I just explained it.
Right,
So
lovely.
good. That's like my way of signaling for help.
So your day 5, much seeing what you could do to get off of the island.
Yep,
Now
and
that you
then if
have a possible solution. Yeah.
instead, but if I'm lucky enough to even get someone to help in,
Right.
this is the final day, but it's probably not gonna be the final day. And if I could just try again the next day, but
Just 5 days on it. That like chances are it's not only a
but no,
week.
but then the next day, but if that doesn't work, I'll still keep doing what I'm doing. Again, let's just say there is a cow just on the island. I'll probably do the sharp rock. I'll probably start slashing like the side of the cow and like trying to like whack it with like something till it's dead. Gather all the beef from like all the meat from it. And unfortunately I don't have a meat grinder to make burgers, so
But luckily for you, no, just kidding.
okay, so I would
What's
probably
this? A meat grinder washes ashore.
Whoa.
oh my okay, burgers everybody. But I don't have. Oh, what's that? There's buns just going on a
Jesus.
shore.
Wow. A whole pack of buns just in the middle of the woods? What are the chances of that?
Oh, and it's even Wonder Bread buns. No,
I wonder how this got here.
no, but so I would just then take the meat from the cow, start a camp, use my bowls that I use for the water, put the raw beef on there, cook it up, and I'm just gonna have to eat it without seasoning because I mean, unless magical salt and pepper just floats right on the shore. But
you could choose that. You can.
but it's good to be true. But I mean, into steak if I have to. Then do that if I can't get somebody to like put me off the island. That'll be 5, really.
All right.
Canoodling and steak.
Okay. My amazing I had earlier of being able to control what comes onto the shore is so unbeknownst to any of us, we'll be shooting off the coast, and survivalist extraordinaire Bear Grylls, who knows everything about survival, just happens to be on a raft that washed up on my beach right in front of me.
Oh my
And
god,
so
Bear Grylls!
Bear Grylls is now here,
What
and
happened?
I'm tasking him with improving everything.
Okay. I mean,
and
but are you gonna ask? You're not even gonna wonder how you can get off the island?
I mean, Bear Grylls, you could live until the rest of your 75 years of natural life.
I mean, hey, if I can have
until
Bear,
he dies.
so I guess his knowledge onto one of us before.
Oh, me. Like, he's next to me. Like, he washed up me.
Before he starts being one of the dead bodies that I use.
So, like, so Bear Grylls is now canonically a character in this world.
He's
He
on the
washed up-
island with us.
He washed up on
But
my land.
let's keep in mind we're
and
all together. We just don't know where
we don't
are.
know we're all together, though. I don't know if the two of you died.
Is Bear Grylls like? Is the dinghy that he came in? Does it like still work?
Oh, he was just on a flotation device. Like, it was
Just
on a wooden raft. It doesn't have
Oh.
any jets on it. It's just, if you want, you have an oar. But he just, because the waves sent him here.
Fair
And
enough,
that's apparently how he decides where to shoot.
And the question is, does he have a whole TV crew with him?
No, it's just him. It's just him and maybe a GoPro. Maybe.
Just so then he can send it to whatever TV studio he had as a contract for.
Yeah, and let's just say that since cell service, it didn't work for any of us, or whatever, our phones were fried or whatever. Let's just say it's not like a live stream. It's literally just recording to the SD card or whatever. So it's not live. It's not like there's no outside source. It's just him who's here now, able to help me and able to tell me that to search in this type of area because this type of area is more like with how the currents of the ocean are. These two other points are most likely to have other survivors and other settlements or other things wash up right there. So I discover, using, or I should say, with Bear Grylls, both of us are walking. Let's see, on the southern point. There's a bay or whatever.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Or
So
James Cook.
James, sure, close enough.
Or
And we're walking of him to the eastern part of the island where the beach meets the the dirt wood area. And I,
Yes.
and I and I tell him about my ABC trees. He's like, I mean, idea, but really spent an hour just marking trees with ABCs. I mean,
you
it's kind of a
dare
silly
ya.
idea, but you know what? I'm able to give people high fives now.
Yes, you
In real
can.
life.
There you go.
And that's the reason I had Bear Grylls.
I mean,
So we are exploring the eastern part of the island.
so now he's
Yes, and I mean, I told him that I have a water purification thing, which he's like, this is bullcrap, but it worked. I mean, I would have done it better, and he actually improves it, and suddenly we have a freaking water fountain somehow.
mhm.
So he improves it, and now, as we want, we have, food stuff that we want, and he's taking me up to the eastern part of our area. He's not where possible other points of interest would be. So that's my day 5. Bear Grylls and me exploring.
Did you tell him how you even got to this island?
Oh yeah, just like the soccer mom line at the deli, we both know each other's whole life story now. It's
Mhm.
actually very impressive, and it would make a nice documentary. But he only has 2 more minutes on his GoPro, so and no backup SD card, unfortunately.
Oh well.
Um,
Well, it's part of survival. You have to make the best for everything.
Make
now,
sacrifices.
but
Mhm.
now we end not at my camp anymore. We ended at a new location on the eastern point on the journey up north in hopes that we find something. What do we think?
All right, all right. So,
Or just anything?
okay, so my day 5, right? So, my morning consists of waking up to hearing the screaming help from the top of the mountain caught my attention. So, I decided to pack up and make my way towards whatever that is. So I start walking, walking towards the mountain point, right? You know, where I see the flashing and I'm hearing Dom screaming, help, help, help,
Help!
right?
Help!
And
Good
like,
ambience.
all right. So as we get up there, right, I stop because what's this? I find a couple, like a grove of lemon trees, right? So I picked like 5 of them, right? Grab the lemons, continue on my
Well,
way. Never know when you're
life
going to
gives
need
you
lemons.
lemons.
All right. Now hear this, right? Get to the
Yep.
top. There's Dom, the other survivor. He's there. Dope. I found him or whatever. But in order to make sure there's no bad blood, I give him the lemons as a peace offering. So then now you can go season your steak.
Oh,
Right?
that's like
Lemon. Here we go.
lemon pepper steak,
And
except
then
without the pepper.
And then, all right, so after we find Dom or whatever, and it's like we established that we're still alive, right? And we're there. Then
Are you
I
separating?
go
Are you
back to
both?
my camp,
I think
right?
we're apparently.
Go back to my camp. On the walk back, I pick 5 more lemons for myself, right? And then I notice that the tray table that's on the back of my airplane seat that washed up is made out of metal. So I grabbed
Uh,
that, I ripped that off, propped that over the fire right there, and then I got a flat top grill to grill the fish with the lemons. There you go.
There we
The
go.
day goes on. I'm chilling,
He's the
enjoying the
son's.
beach, and then,
Hmm.
I hear
Solar.
voices, And then Jacob and Bear Grylls show up outside my beach area, which like pissed me off because I was like, damn, I thought I was here, like this is my beach, right? But then we were like cool when I realized who it was.
But it's like, I mean, you were
And
probably pissed off for the
Jacob
moment.
also gets 3 lemons as a peace offering because it's that all that I have left after making the fish.
It's like you're pissed,
3
but you're
lemons
also
and a fish fillet for Jacob since he's at my abode, and Bear Grylls can have some too, I suppose.
let's just pay the respects. Here you go.
So okay, let me clarify this though. You gave Dom some lemons and just walked away and just let him do his thing.
Essentially, yeah.
You left him. You left him.
You left
so
me.
right now,
you know
right
what?
now,
So
But
you
at least he knows that I'm alive and that we exist. He doesn't know that Jacob exists yet, but at
and he
least
doesn't know
I
that Bear Grylls is there.
that all of you guys are alive and everything, right?
So the only
so
person
then-
who has infinite knowledge is literally Nick because he knows that Bear Grylls, me, and Tom are okay. But
Well, you're
both
the
of
one
us
that
are-
said you walked. You're the one that said you walked to the beach. I didn't say I went and found you. I went to Dom because he was yelling and flashing a mirror or whatever. You
yeah,
and
it was
Bear
a
Grylls
mirror.
walked onto my beach. You entered my territory.
But you didn't bring him with you. You just left him there.
Well, he was doing his own thing, and then he went on to do his own thing throughout the rest of day 5.
Yeah, and then I made my blood cow steak.
Exactly.
Okay,
But now
lovely.
you had lemons because now.
But now
it's
I
not
can
bland,
season my steak. I can just put lemon juice in my steak. I can cook
because
it with
I
it.
gave you 5 lemons.
Here you go.
If we could have like a little side tangent here, it could be cut out. It doesn't matter. It could stay in. Whatever you decide, future editor Dom.
I'm gonna. This is. I think if it's funny enough, I'm keeping it.
This is 100% not where I thought this was gonna be. I thought we were gonna be like I was pitching Dom like an idea of maybe we could do like a D&D type of thing where Dom knows the answers of everywhere, and it's just like you and I living in his abandoned island.
But
I did not expect freaking
Bear
Jesus
Grylls.
lemon trees and Bear Grylls to show up, and then
Bear Grylls.
Bear
random
Grylls.
here's a
lemons.
lemon peace offering.
What's next? Coyote
Somehow
Peterson
a
shows
metal
up.
plane chair floating ashore.
Who's next? Coyote Peterson.
Funny as
Oh,
shit
he's
though.
there too. He's just getting bit by all his crazy shit though.
Yeah, he's probably getting bit by the giant spider that's in Australia.
Well, now that we've established that we all live, that we're all alive, how are we
So
gonna
that
get
you
off
know.
the island?
So
That
If-
you know though.
So-
Are both okay on your day 5 though? Still, are you telling me that Dom is here too? Or are you keeping that to yourself?
No, Dom is there too.
Told me this information. You know this.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I told you that Dom is there.
Now Bear Grylls and I and you, the only person who's now in the dark is Dom now.
Yeah,
This
because
is-
he went and did his own thing. But like now that I know he's alive, I can go find him on day 6, and then he can be part of the day 6 crew.
oh,
Speaking of day 6, what is on the agenda for you?
okay, so I've already established you both are on the island.
You
So then-
don't know that though.
Actually, I know. Okay, Nick's on the island,
There we go.
so I only know he's there. So then the next day, I'm gonna then go to him, see if we can then formulate a plan to escape this island, or another option is we could try to request him build a new place of shelter, and then so although he knows that he saw Jake and Bear, then maybe I can ask, because I still don't know. So this is just under the notion I don't know. So I'd probably have him help, or at least we can then have a place all together. We can build and everything. Well, if you see a chicken, then we're capturing that chicken, or at least the
yeah.
rooster.
with your steak and my chicken and like making the eggs and stuff, and then we got the chicken and stuff, we can be like feasting for days.
Yeah, and then actually, better
Cause,
yet,
'cause now we got lemons to season everything.
perfect. And we could also even build a farm. Like have the like raise some cows and chickens. We don't know if there's any pigs on the whole island, so all we have is chickens and cows that we can have right now. So then at least we got the seeds from the lemons to grow more lemon trees from. And this is just like, oh,
Right.
so day 5 thing, or no, not day 5, day 6.
So your day 6 is pretty much just seeking out Nick to do other additional tasks together.
Yep, and then we do our tasks. Like I do my tasks. He can, yep, be established. I can do a little addition.
Right. Okay.
So, and here's a little side thing. Right, and then I'll get back to the. Oh yeah, that Australian giant spider thing is called the huntsman spider.
The huntsman
Huntsman,
spider. I've heard of those. They're crazy looking.
So yeah, and if we can have this huntsman spiders, then yeah, we at least we have animals to protect, like our shelter. I mean, like your day 6 with Bear Grylls.
So I don't know if Nick just around and just like continued doing his own thing or whatever, but it's my thinking that I ended my day kind of a hop, skip, and jump away. So maybe not like on his ground, but like right outside the door, pretty much, right?
Pretty close by, yeah.
Because I already said that I abandoned like my first area. I will convene that I actually have a pretty impressive water purification unit that Bear Grylls, updated. Want to check it out, and then I might bring you to my starting settlement. But this is also knowing that it is a considerable distance away, which means that you would have to pretty much like a day or half of a day if we are hoofing it. But you told me that, oh, he exists over here. This turns into. So with Bear Grylls and Nick's permission, let's reconvene everybody that we know to be on the island. Nick, are you okay?
Yes, I'm okay with this.
All 4 of us made our journey. We are in the same location, the location that Dominic was in, right? Because you know where that is. And considering you were almost death before knowing who we were, I don't know if you're fine with Dom on your property. So
no, Dom can come on the property now that I know it's him and that he's alive.
Okay, so the ended our day with Dom doing his own thing, right?
Yeah.
And you and I pretty much close together-ish. So both of us are on a journey to,
Go
actually
find
convening
Dom.
with Dom, right? So everybody can catch up and do things. But that is when Dom's looking at her for another shiny, try to signal or blind a sailing ship. That's when, in the reflection, because he actually stopped to check what his face looks like for some reason. I don't know.
I don't need to check my face.
Because you almost broke your tooth on a lemon seed. There you go. You weren't careful, and there was a lemon seed, and you almost broke your tooth. So you're checking your teeth while you were looking at yourself in the mirror behind you. You could see what looks like a battery-powered inflatable castle, bounce house, if you will,
Mm,
colloquial
just like a
term.
moonwalk.
It is a
Just
puffed up. It is floating,
So
and it's a bouncy castle that doesn't require an outlet. It's just puffed
Floating.
up forever. It's just there.
Awesome.
It's not deflated. It's fully. It's a bounce house. That's when you notice that in the reflection of the mirror. What do you do with that information?
With that information,
This is in Dom's mirror. Dom,
okay.
tell us what you do if you see a bouncy castle behind you.
just like the. It's like the. Is this me?
At this point, I
Yes,
but
we're
like
all
we're,
all
Okay.
together at this
we're all
point.
I'd like
together,
try to be like, let's.
but somehow you're the only one who's able to see that there's a
So I
freaking
see.
big inflatable.
So if I see a little kitty bounce house, I mean, I would like tell everybody, like, gather our food and like water. Let's try to see if we could sail our way back to North America. I mean,
On that, but how would we get it to shore? One of us would have to swim out and like pull it back, and then we'd
so
probably load all the supplies.
I mean, we're not. So what we could do is,
Oh, as a part of the Jesus rule of being able to dictate what's happening, the part is there is like a rope that's like attached to it, which probably was from like a cargo ship or something that was like
Oh.
trying to like strap it in, but it didn't work because it sailed through the storm that we all experienced, the beginnings and ends
thunderstorm.
of. Right. So it got lodged under the water and is stuck there, right? So I either have to like remove the rope from under the water, but it is pretty much a bouncy castle that just got stuck. It is like its own island.
Okay, so then
That's what's happening.
who's
It's
got
not moving.
Okay.
who's got that sharp rock? Because then we're cutting the rope to detach.
Right.
So
Sharp rock that I was initialing A, B, C. I even got to double D territory, if you know what I mean, right?
mhm.
Hey, right.
So you got your rock, you got the sharp rock.
I got my
But
rock, man.
we have to be careful because it is an inflatable house. So it's like one of us would have to go cut the line, the other two get in it, and then one of us go cut the line, drop the rock, and then swim in and get into the bounce house so we don't pop it.
So
And what about you, Bear Grylls?
So what? Oh, I did. It's up to you to figure that out.
So Bear Grylls, you're gonna stay.
Oh, I have a show to film.
He's like, I'll always be in your hearts.
The real journey is the Bear Grylls made along the way.
The real journey was the
whole
Bear
setup.
Grylls we met along the way.
The whole setup was all done by him. No, he just coincidentally was there for a TV show.
Now we're floating in the bounce castle, right? And like,
but we didn't cut it yet. That still didn't happen.
We didn't cut it yet, but like,
but we need to be
we're
able
swimming to it, right? Like, who cuts it? Who wants to cut it?
Okay, what I'm gonna do is cut the rope from the holding this bounce house back, detach it like that, climb up back in the bounce house, like cut the windows from the house to the outside, so that way you're not cutting the the actual bounce house, so that it deflates. Who's got a long stick, just like a big wooden stick that you can.
I have a large wooden stick.
So then you're gonna have to paddle, like kind of row. One person's gonna have to, like, kind of like do what a boat.
But The important thing is we need to bring that mirror.
Oh, definitely. Oh, don't worry. I brought that mirror.
And I'm gonna see if I could go back. It'll take me a little bit of a journey. It's literally on the opposite side of the stuff. So before we cut through this thing, I want to get the water fountain, if that's all right with you, Bear Grylls.
Oh, go ahead.
Sure thing. Okay. So this we have this inflatable raft-like material that's just fun looking.
It's got crayons on the side.
Sure. It has essential stuff. Does it have your chicken in it?
Yeah, my chicken is there, so we do have eggs.
You got your hen.
I'm assuming we also have your
we got roosters as well.
Your homemade grill sort of setup, maybe.
Right? Your solar grill.
I have the metal thing, the metal platform, obviously not the fire, but we can use the sun, yes.
It's the solar cooker.
Right.
That's what
solar cooker. We also have, various different fruits and like lemons and some of the various other things. Are we trying to cultivate any like lobsters? Like try to breed them or something?
Since we have since we cut through
I'd say we grab the little supplies we have and then cut the rope and then we just drift until we either see a boat or a helicopter or something that we can signal with the mirror.
Also, definitely, I mean, if one of us has to use the restroom, either bring like an empty bottle or an empty bowl.
Why? Just pee off the side into the ocean.
I could.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? We just, hey, I'd even turn around and do the other thing.
Exactly.
It's the water. Just do it right in the water and then.
But if you truly wanted it, because the thing that I was thinking of was the inflatable parts are like the walls and ceiling type of area. The floor is pretty much like something to weigh it down, like just like pallet wood or something, like just a plank of wood where it's buoyant enough to float, but it's not like gonna sink everything, right? So you can cut through it and just have the honor system turn around. I'm using the hole.
Fair enough.
Perfect.
You're using the hole. They used to do is on ships. You go hang off a net on the front and shit, and that's why it's called the head.
There you go.
That's what you do.
Got our maybe 2 chickens, 1 rooster, 1 hen, so then we can have more eggs. So then I think we just left the cow behind because then that would sink the bounce house.
Well, remember you did. If we're gonna believe that the kid didn't try running and that you were successful in your,
description,
brutal murder-lurdling of the cow, we could just have some of the meat stuff.
We still have some. Oh, we have leftover.
And we have some lemons. Hide. I would say some of the hide is pretty nice to use. Because hide can be used as like a patch if, God forbid, if we did have a puncture in our bounce house raft, then we could try to patch it up with a bit of cowhide.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this could be cut out. This part.
And it's now day 7, let's say.
It's already day 7. It's already been a week since we've been on this island.
So now we're just floating.
We're speedrunning Castaway.
We're floating, and then all of a sudden, in the distance, there's a white figure, like a little white thing, and it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And by the time we get up to it, it's Mr. Beast filming his like $1 versus $1 million yacht video or whatever.
Hey,
and he just brings us on board and stuff, and then we just like live on the yacht.
Hey, you know what? If we can, if we can shout for help with that mirror, then hey, we'll
flag down Mr. Beast with the mirror.
We
have
found
Carl
3
come get us.
castaways off the coast of Australia.
We
We're
found
gonna film an
3
episode
plane
of.
survivors while we
Yeah,
were
please sing a
filming our
song.
video.
Our video. Unexpected. Not clickbait.
Not clickbait.
And tell you what, guys, we're partnering with the Australian Refugee Service. I know you're not refugees, but you might as well be, right?
Yeah.
He brings us back
That's
to
why-
North Carolina.
That's why we're going to give you all
And it just
$10,000.
and it just
Jimmy, can you up the price a little bit? We were out there for a long time, man.
and
We've
And
seen
He,
some things.
he brings us to North Carolina and gets us each a Lamborghini to drive back home with.
it just so happened.
Or the mystery box. You choose.
The
What's that?
mystery box.
What's
you
that?
choose. It could be a Lamborghini,
Could be a
or
Lambo-
it could be $1.
I think I'll pick the Lamborghini, but does it include insurance?
Yes. Well, we'll say yes. We'll say
Alright.
Mr. Beast is being nice and he put insurance on it for you.
CarMax. Okay, awesome.
Hmm.
So what's next? Rhett and Link are happen to just be at the dealership, and then they just give us private jets to just fly back home.
No, not necessarily Rhett and Link, but like, we drive the Lamborghinis back.
So we better have gas money.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Well, Mr. Beast each gave us $20,000 on top of the Lamborghini too.
there we go. And then we can all go to Circle K's or Cumberland Farms along the way.
Yeah, we can stop at Cumbies and just go crazy.
There you go. I can live off those cold tuna sandwiches.
What would be your first meal back on land if you were stranded for, let's say 10 days since you had been home or whatever?
Well, okay, so if I have $20,000, I'm probably gonna go to some high-end restaurant.
I'm just making a freaking homemade pizza, I suppose.
I'm be honest.
I'm gonna go to Hell's Kitchen and probably get myself like a beef Wellington.
After all of that, I'd probably just go to like Chick-fil-A and be like, all right, dope.
Well,
I honestly, after that, I'd be content Chick-fil-A. Like, I would
honestly,
just
be
get
honest.
some like nuggets. I'd be chilling.
I was sticking
I've-
between that and McDonald's and
I've
just getting
never
a
had
burger.
that. I've yet to have a Chick-fil-A thing. No,
Really?
nothing to do with politics or religious stuff.
Right.
Nothing
it's
to
just
do with.
there's not
literally
really many
just-
of them.
Never had the opportunity. And
There's-
we have like a yearly kind of, except for the 3 months, the 3 years of the big C. We pretty much did yearly travel. There have been Chick-fil-A's in the airports that we've been to,
Yeah.
but it's just, I don't know, maybe I wanted Panda Buffet or whatever. That was right. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm going through the Charlotte airport, I'm getting Bojangles, hands down, nothing else.
Bojangles. I mean, honestly, if I go to an airport, I'm gonna get a Big Mac, no cheese.
Charlotte's a good one though. Like Charlotte is
a good one.
If there's
Dom,
Yeah.
have you ever been to the Charlotte airport?
not been to there.
How many airports have you gone to?
I've been to a couple, including like Bradley and Providence.
Okay, yeah. Providence is like our home airport, so like I pretty much like know almost the ins and outs. But the one time that I went to LAX, that's shitty. That's the worst airport I've ever been to.
I hate Atlanta.
Honestly,
I think Atlanta is probably my least favorite. Either Atlanta or Newark.
I've never been to the Newark one. The Atlanta one for me.
I don't.
Well, it was just a connecting flight, so I didn't really
don't even
experience
remember.
it. But
I don't
like-
remember the names of all the airports I've been on. It's been like a little over half a decade since I've even flown.
we
But-
gotta change that. Like,
But I'm saying if I'm picking Honestly, if I could see a McDonald's, I'm going to McDonald's. Or if there's a Chick-fil-A, I'm getting my deluxe sandwich, chicken sandwich.
Oh, but out of the corner of your eye now.
I mean,
The
if you go to Puerto Rico, that airport's cool but weird because the gates are normal, like they're on either side, but the desks are just down the middle of the terminal.
That's like the information booths and whatever. Just like,
Yeah, like the desks
yeah.
where you get your tickets and check in for the flight and everything. They're not next to the gates.
Oh,
They're just down the middle of the terminal.
I thought I was given the benefit of the doubt and saying like, oh yeah, like information booths like in the middle. That makes sense.
No,
You're
no,
saying
like the
physically
ticket.
the where you
It's
scan your stuff.
Yeah, like where you physically scan your stuff to board is like in the middle of the terminal, and then you walk to the gate. It's pretty
That's
interesting. At least
that's
when I was
interesting.
there. At least the last time I was there, which was
like
9 years ago now. No, 8 years ago, something like that.
2016.
I think it was
Mhm.
2016. Yeah, it was the last time. Well, not the last time I was there, but the last time I flew there. The last time I was there by plane.
Mm-hmm.
The last time I was there was 2018, I believe.
If only Paul Revere knew that the British could come in.
They could come by plane now.
What if I land? One, two, if I see three if Jesus personally sent them up from above.
Mm-hmm.
I think,
But yeah, I already know like my meals when I come back. I'm going for multiple different meals. I'm doing Hell's Kitchen. I'm doing McDonald's, and I'm getting that spicy deluxe at Chick-fil-A.
Honestly, actually, though, if we're kind of going to go back to kind of like the topic,
yeah,
not necessarily saying that like, this wasn't on top, because you you initially said what's the first thing you'd have went back from this type of thing,
yeah,
but
Or
it kind of wasn't really like thematic. It's kind of like it's parallel, but like yeah.
yeah,
So if we're going back to that, um, if we remember in the movie, right,
yeah,
when he returns, he was like a celebrity sort of thing because like this guy who was out here for 2-3 months or whatever is
yeah.
suddenly back. Whoa, that's interesting. Cool. Interviews all over the place.
well, I mean, if we're brought back by Mr. Beast, I'm sure we're getting interviewed.
Oh, yeah, that actually
I don't know.
happened
I'm
in
just
our
saying.
universe.
I'm just saying. I get back. I'm going straight to Chick-fil-A.
Oh yeah.
I
No,
will
no,
answer
sure, but
interviews after. I will say no further questions
just
until I've had my Chick-fil-A.
It's like I want my meals.
so I'm
Either that
wondering
or
if
Raisin Canes, and I'll be satisfied.
I'm
Oh,
wondering
actually, I want
if
a
there's like
Haven hot chicken.
potential. I wonder if there's like potential though there with brand deal, and I'm not talking about like Mr. B stuff. I'm talking about like if you go through a 7-day like survival mission of something that you know you didn't want. Really,
Yeah,
you just happened to crash an island and survive for a week.
yeah,
There's probably some brand deals there where it's like the first thing this survivor said want is a Chick-fil-A thing. So maybe you could be just the Chick-fil-A survivalist.
I would be. I would be.
and and get this. You bring Polly, because I named her, you bring Polly, your chicken, onto set. And you
Oh
film
no!
something with Polly and Bob.
You're like, these are my friends.
Where's Tim and Sally the eggs are right there too, sitting right there. But I mean Dave's hot chicken.
Oh, Dave's hot chicken is.
They sound good. we're all talking about. I mean, and it's like this to them is gonna look like a war, like a World War II inside the restaurant to them.
Yeah.
But I just would leave them right in the Lamborghinis so that I could have my meals. But
They can comfortably relax in the air-conditioned Lamborghini.
oh yeah, Definitely.
We could also hire some people to look after them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, like babysitting, so we could call them the chicken tenders.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah,
or,
definitely.
or you can cut this one out if you want.
Interviews. So
Mm,
this is we were more now. You can ask me as many questions as you want.
right.
I mean, what would you think they'd ask you? It's just the basics.
Like, how did you feel if a what's this bouncy castle out of the corner of your mirror?
I'm been like,
Whoa!
dude, honestly, did not see that coming.
Honestly, I could have imagined this in Dora the Explorer, but not in real life.
And then like I chip in. I'm like, I mean, it must have just been a stroke of like some benevolent, amazing individual that might be looking out for us.
I mean, this could have
Because
been.
it's clearly my thing.
This just sounds like it's a made-up scenario. Honestly,
It's Bear Grylls watching out for us.
who knows if he had like drones? Who knew if he had drones just flying around the island, stalking us?
So we sent. Hey, this is Vanessa Hudgens from Morning News, interviewing the three of you. So we had experts visiting that island, and we found out that it had a major gas leak, and there was no trace of anybody, let alone Bear Grylls, the survivalist.
It's like
Explain how.
there wasn't even any life on there. What were you guys eating?
We
the
just
first the first date was I think on the airplane. I think three of us split the sausage and mushrooms. But it was actually from the Armenian guy that was sitting across from us. So maybe those are actually magic mushrooms.
I guess.
The best plain food I ever had was the spicy chicken sandwich on the flight to Costa Rica. Oh my god, it was the best thing I've ever had.
That's good.
It was so good. I was like, this is airplane food?
Well, hey, like, there's, like, they may be seen as something that's infamous, but it's actually really good.
Yeah.
Like, were you using an American type of airline, or were you using like a Costa Rican one?
So I was flying American Airlines, and I got upgraded to first class.
Lucky
Kind of a
duck.
weird story. I was flying down. I had a connection in Charlotte and then a connection in Miami to go down into Costa Rica there. But I got delayed in Charlotte, and so I was gonna miss my connection in Miami. So I went to the American Airlines desk to try to figure out what to do. And the lady that ended up helping me out was the lady that was sitting next to me on the flight from JFK to Charlotte, who I talked to the entire flight and who was really cool. And so she put me on a flight going back up to JFK and then a direct flight from JFK down there, which was a 6-hour flight. But because of all the trouble, she upgraded me to first class without any having to pay anything, so it was kind of nice. You got the big seats and everything. It was pretty cool.
We've had like our family has had a upgrade for like seemingly out of nowhere. We didn't actually have anything wrong. It was just like we must have we must have been like the most patient, and I think they just went up to us and were like, "You weren't pushing anyone to cut in front of. Do you guys want to like? We have 6 seats. We're gonna fill like the last one, unless if everyone else is like gonna say. But the five of you want to just come up here, and we were like, okay. This was like first time to Hawaii, I believe. Um, that was a nice one. That was twice doing different things. Luckily, different times. Um, and my Lamas at Virgin Islands stuff.
Oh, that's nice.
That's
I've
also
been to
neat.
St. Thomas.
The,
I've
the
been to
only
St.
thing
Thomas.
for me as a I'm someone who kind of want to get into the drinking culture, right?
Yeah,
Like
That's
I'm someone who is
that's completely fair.
very
that's
I was really into it for a while, and then I got to a point where it was, just physically and mentally tearing me apart. I don't drink anymore either myself.
yeah,
that's
because like we found out that that place is like if you're not going to even drink some that eliminates 80% of the things you could do.
Yeah.
Almost.
I
That's
mean,
honestly
It's
that's a good majority of the Caribbean islands. Is
like
it's like
one
if you're
thing
not
leads
into
to another.
alcohol, there's not much else there other
oh
than
not
beaches
a
and snorkeling and stuff like that.
not a
Uh,
one
Although I
thing
will
leads to each
say,
other.
St. Martin was beautiful. St. Martin was one of my favorite countries that I ever went to, and it had a lot to do. Like we did a full like cultural bus tour, and we went out to all the beaches, and we saw like the French monuments and the Dutch monuments on either side, and that was a cool trip. St. Martin was cool. This is really cool, and there's not much alcohol based down there. Um,
mm,
too all over. I've
I
been to a
mean,
couple countries down there.
It's like I so badly say as like advice for myself definitely, but I don't know if Dom's in the same boat. But someone like me who wants to explore the world, but one apparently can't get a position, right? I haven't I don't have really like a steady
Right.
payment stuff.
I am like,
Two, I'm still like,
I've been like
I'm
nonstop applying to places.
I'm still in the parents area, which nothing
Nothing
wrong
wrong with
with
that.
that.
Hey,
Nothing
I'm
wrong.
still living at home here in Waterford, so
Yeah, you're
you know I'm
saying,
here in Waterford too. So
but
there's nothing.
actually, I'm fortunate enough that I don't. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like I
I see
had
where this
that
is
for.
going.
That's
No, you
good.
don't. You don't see where this is going, Dom. Because I actually wasn't going to bring up that,
Don't. Okay.
but I
Oh,
wasn't going to. Um,
okay, good, because I can't promise anything.
but I do have that going on. So I do have a form of real ID. I don't
Yeah.
ever had a passport. I currently don't have a credit card or a debit card. Um,
Right.
how would you, assuming you have resources that you had sixth grade 22, right?
Right.
Like you have possibly some,
Um.
extra $1,000 maybe in your bank account to use or whatever. You don't have your own house, apartment. You don't have your own
Right.
car, right? How would you do this?
So
I
it
want to visit these
depends.
places.
It depends what you want to do. Necessarily. My biggest piece of advice that I've told a lot of people when it comes to traveling is it comes down if you care about get point A to point B, or if you care about luxury. So I'm one where I don't really care about luxury. I don't care about first class. I don't care about direct flights. I don't care what airline it is or anything like that, really. I just kind of pick whatever the cheapest thing is. And that's how I do most of my traveling and keep it on the cheaper side. Is I try to find the cheapest flight, and again, doesn't matter where the layovers are or how many there are to me personally. I know some people it's different. Some people are like, I'd rather have a direct flight and I'd rather be comfortable, and that's completely fine. Just know those flights are usually more expensive to go from place to place like that. Um,
I mean,
when it comes down to accommodations, I mean, really, Airbnb is never a bad option. It's a lot of times cheaper than a hotel or the same price as a hotel, and you kind of get a little
I
bit
mean,
more out of it, a little bit more privacy of sorts.
I
But
mean,
again, but
obviously,
even when it comes down to it, like there are trips that I've gone on, throughout my late teens, early 20s. with my friends where we've stayed at the hotel next to the airport, and you hear
Right.
planes flying over all night. But like if you don't care about that too much and you can sleep through that kind of stuff, that's also a good option because it's always really cheap too. You know, those airport hotels are kind of meant for that kind of thing. So we've done that. Like when we were in Texas, we stayed at a hotel right next to the airport. When I was in let's see, where else have I been? Decided we were gonna spend like $1,400 between the two of us, which was kind of crazy, and neither of us really had it at the time, but we managed. It was fun, but that would kind of be my first thing, is to figure like, do you care about luxury or do you not really care about that? And then if you don't care about luxury, what's the furthest you're willing to go in order to travel somewhere or stay somewhere, or whatever it may be? Because like I know from a personal standpoint, like I said, I'm a heavy sleeper. I can sleep through planes flying overhead all night. So getting a $50 a night hotel room next to the airport been an issue for me. And then you just either take Ubers if you're somewhere that doesn't have public transit, or if you're gonna go, especially a lot of the domestic cities here in the United States, a lot of them have like a train system or a subway system or stuff like that. And a lot of times when I go travel from city to city, in order to save on like Uber and stuff, I'll just take those subways because it's like $2, $3. I know in Washington D.C. They kind of charge you based on how far you go, but the most you'll spend is like the last time I was in D.C. I bought a subway card and charged it up with $20, and I think I spent 10, and I was there for like 3 or 4 days. So it's
Mhm.
not crazy expensive, and that's kind of transportation wise a lot of what I do. And
So
then
the
again, flying on a plane, flying plane. I don't mind having layovers and connections and stuff like that, or flying like Spirit Airlines or Frontier Airlines or some of those like worse end, lower end type airline stuff doesn't bother me. So that's kind of part of the reason that I've been able to travel a lot and do a lot of different things there.
Mhm.
Um,
it sounds like you kind of it sounds like you started at step 10. I'm straight up like saying, how do you do
yeah.
the passport stuff? How do you do
Oh, okay,
the
okay.
how do you do the
Sorry,
credit card stuff and the debit
took
card
a
stuff?
complete different turn there. So
Uh,
you don't need a credit card or a debit card to travel. You can use cash. I mean, you do obviously to book the ticket. You have to book it on a debit card or a credit card or whatever. But I imagine you can go through your parents, like have them book it and give them the cash or give them the money
Because I
or
straight up
whatever it
also
is.
I also just don't have like
And then passport wise, you know, obviously you don't need it if you're traveling anywhere domestic. If you're going
true.
to the US Virgin Islands or Puerto Rico, you don't need it, but
Right.
anywhere else you do.
Because it
mhm.
If you just want to go, there's a couple of countries, like a couple of the Caribbean islands and Mexico and Canada, where you can get like the cheap passport card, and it's like a little photo ID passport that you just like keep in your wallet, and you can use that to go to like Canada, Mexico, and then like I said, I think a couple of the Caribbean islands. Um
but nothing different continental reasons like
but if you
nothing
want to go, like if you want to go to a different continent
European.
or a different country, stuff like that, then you would need to get a full passport, which it's
Right.
a little bit of a process. Like I got mine at the post office. You just have to go fill out all the forms, get a picture taken, and they send it away. And then it takes about 3 to 4 weeks or so
Because like
for
my
it to
my
come back. But then the passport comes to you, and then it's just that little booklet, and you can use that to go anywhere really. And at this point in our lives, since like if you're under 18, they're good for 5 years, but over anyone over 18, like at this point in our lives, the passports are good for 10 years, so you're pretty set in that
because
sense.
because I know a little bit of the process because I think last year, like my dad was like trying to get his updated one or whatever, something like that. But
Yeah.
he waited like a long. It was like past the time, so he had to actually get a new one, not just a redo of the same one, right? Like an
Right.
update. Because he went to. I'm literally wearing the shirt for it right now, but he went to. Oh, jeez. I'm looking. I'm trying to see my shirt if it actually says like the place. P Prague. There we go.
Prague.
He went to Prague for like
Prague.
a business
I've
trip
heard
like
Prague is cool.
last year at some point, just for
Mhm.
like a week or whatever. But um, his process was like he asked me to take a photo right against like a white wall that we had. He did it
Yeah.
digitally. He didn't do like the post
Yeah.
office like
And
wait in
you
line and do it
can
that
do
way.
it. You can do it that way now.
Right.
But like when I got my first passport, it was all kind of through that. And so I kind of
Hmm.
just always go to the post office and update it and all that.
I think you could still do it the old way too.
I think so too, yeah.
Oh,
AAA might do it. Like if you guys have AAA, I AAA does passports.
I
I don't.
just noticed something. Been a while now. I think it's probably time that we wrap this thing up. What would you say?
Um, Definitely time to. I guess just like with all the things that we had on the island, just wrap it all up and then let's leave. But honestly, I mean, I knew we were gonna get somewhere with this episode, but not to the extent that we did.
It was
Yeah,
crazy.
I mean,
it got crazy, but that's completely okay.
hey, I mean, how did we? I mean, how did I know we were gonna talk about Mr. Beast in this episode?
How
But
did I know I was gonna bring up Bear Grylls? Actually, that's more believable than Mr.
but no, I had a fun time with this, and it's definitely fun having you on, Nick.
For sure, yeah. Thank you for having me, Dom. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this. Thank you guys both.
All right.
Mm.
Do you have any social media to plug in or do
Ooh,
you
the
prefer that?
shameless plugs.
A lot of people already know my Instagram account. That's kind of the main thing that I plug. But I guess the oh, I know what I can do. For
Mhm.
anybody listening, follow over on Instagram cool.rocks.awesome_. Go give that a follow. It's just pictures of cool rocks.
The
Hmm.
link will be in the description below.
Slut. Yeah. You'll have to probably put a link in that in like a private chat, so
Yeah,
then
I
I
can
can
send you guys. I can send you guys the account and the Instagram or whatever.
then
It's
I
just an
can
account that we
Judging
made
by
up.
this,
That's just
judging
probably
by the sound of it, it's something that I probably should follow.
because
you would probably very
I'm
much
not gonna
enjoy it.
remember it
This.
probably after this, so it's like you might as well.
Yeah, I'll send it to you guys.
But yeah, no, thank you though for joining.
Yeah,
'Cause,
no, happy to be here. I'm happy to that you guys asked me to do
God,
this.
I haven't.
In
Yeah.
addition, there's also another little itty bitty, if you have the time for it, of course, or the motivation to do it, I suppose, as well. Um, would you like to return either as another podcast thing or just doing other shenanigans with us?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll absolutely come back on and record with you guys or do things with you guys. Whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, if the
Absolutely.
schedule allows it, right?
Yes, if
I'll,
scheduling allows it, but
I'll
I shouldn't.
definitely.
My schedule's not too crazy for the next couple months. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah. We'll definitely be cutting that part out, but
yes,
No, because that's literally what I do with.
in one way or another.
I look forward to it as well, guys, for sure.
All right. Yeah. And thank you, viewers, for listening to this podcast. And
Thank you, guys.
well, I mean, if you happen to see a subscribe button coming onto shore, feel free to pick that up.
Feel free to reel that in, right?
Yeah, and And there might be it might be like a little treasure chest to that subscribe button. Oh, see what's inside. There's a notification bell. Feel free to ring that notification bell.
Hit the
nice
subscribe
shiny
button,
gold
and maybe
button.
you'll run into Mr. Beast on a yacht.
Or better yet, we'll probably see Rhett and Link like right there in front of you.
What's this out of the corner? We can also see the ability for all of you to throw messages in a bottle in the good old comment section.
Yeah, and then maybe you'll get a nice
You know,
like
what could be
mental
fun is have them comment below like what their meal would be when they come back from that situation. Like
that would be
just
a
out of
good.
curiosity.
And
See what people say.
or what would you guys do if
What
you
would you
were?
guys do in the situation? Or, when you
Yeah.
guys get back to land after however many days you're stranded on an island, what's the first meal you're gonna eat? What's the first thing you're gonna pick as food?
All right, perfect.
Hate to break it to you, we're probably going to see a sea of nothingness because we barely get
You know what?
comments.
That's completely fair. But we'll
But
at least see. If we get one, we'll be content.
we'll get our hopes up at least.
At the very least, I'm going to comment something just to fill out
I mean,
the
if
nothingness.
but,
Exactly.
yeah. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode. All right, I think.